Hey guys, long time no chat. Just kidding. I literally just seen you like 5 minutes ago because I just filmed my FabFitFun box. Not shaming that, not gonna hide it. Normally I would try to hide it, but my hair looks exactly the same, so why even try? But I figure, you know, new shirt, same hair, new video. That's better than no video, right? So I'm sitting here in my wet sweatshirt that I thought was dry until I put on. So I'm going to try to get through this video fast because I am freezing. But let's get into this. Alright guys, so I watched this video. I watched this video? How? I'm filming it. Alright guys, so I watched these videos like crazy when I was pregnant. And the first thing every single YouTuber says in that is nobody talks about postpartum. Nobody talked about it. How was I able to watch all those videos? That is me being super sassy. But I get where they're coming from. I hope I get where they're coming from in the fact that while you're pregnant, everybody's talking about how exciting it is and how wonderful the baby's going to be, but nobody talks to you about postpartum. Maybe that's what they're talking about, but if you clearly want to know about postpartum, watch all those videos. There are hundreds of them. So people are talking about it. But if you do care about my opinion and want to know what I went through and what I used, then sure, let's talk about it. So I'm going to go into the products that I liked, that I used, that I didn't like, or just didn't use, and kind of go over my postpartum journey with you. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I know that every woman is different, and my postpartum process probably is much more different than yours is or will be, and much different than people that you know. I know some women have gone through it much easier than me, some have gone through it much harder. But for me personally, I honestly believe like it was a pretty easy healing process. Don't try to slap me in the face through the camera. I'm sorry. I just got lucky in that sense. But I do remember with my first one, it was a little bit more difficult, but that also was my first. My body kind of worked like muscle memory. I've had a baby before, so it kind of knew what to do already. So I'm assuming maybe that had something to do with me healing much faster this time. So for starters, if you didn't watch my birth story or my birth vlog, I had a vaginal delivery. My labor was about 7 to 9 hours. 7 hours from when I got to the hospital, 9 hours from when my water broke. So it was a pretty quick labor overall. It was pretty easy, relatively painless. I'm sorry, don't kill me. And I tore a little bit. I only needed 1 stitch, which I'm assuming is healed. So yes, I'm just going to start by that. There's the backstory. The day I gave birth, they were loading me up with ice pack pads. If your hospital has these, please ask for them. And if they don't have them, look them up and see if you can buy them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this was like the #1 thing that helped me heal extremely fast. And it was those damn ice packs. I don't even know if it really helped heal, but it made the healing process easier. They say you can only use those for 24 hours because after the 24 hours, it really does nothing for you. Lighting's different completely because not only did my camera die, but my daughter woke up, had to take care of all of that. So this is a couple hours later, bear with me, but we're picking up right where we left off. So what I was saying is if I had any of those pads left, I would definitely show you what they look like, but they came in a bag and the instructions were to basically crack the bag while it's, sorry, she's right here eating. The instructions were to turn the bag until you heard a pop, and then that would kind of not ignite, what's the word? You know what I'm saying. But it would get the whole thing going, and by the time you put it on, it would just start getting colder and colder and colder, and it was life-changing. Like, it felt so good on my lady bits when I was in the hospital. I put it on, and honestly, the next day, my swelling was down by like 90%. I'm not kidding. It almost looked like normal by that time. So that was that, and then I bled heavily for about a week, if that. After that, it became like a period, and honestly, I'm 6 weeks postpartum right now, and I probably stopped fully bleeding like 3-4 weeks ago. I don't even think I bled that long. I bled for like 2 weeks. So I think I remember with my first, I bled a lot longer and a lot heavier, but with this one, not so much. So like I said, not everybody has the same experience as I do. Some have it worse, some have it better, but that's just a background on what I went through. So now I'm going to get into the products that I recommend and the products that I don't. Some things I can show you, some things I can't because I ran out of and I didn't need to buy them. But I'm going to start with the must have in all postpartum care is the Always Discreet Boutique diapers. Or Depends, pull-ups, I don't know, disposable underwear. Those things, literally life-changing for postpartum. I did use the mesh undies in the hospital for the first day. The second day, I started using those and they just changed the game completely. It just takes out all the other steps of everything else you have to do. If you are lining your diapers, whatever, with tucks, it does make it a little bit more difficult with those, but those are just life-changing. It's just like one thing, one step. You don't got to worry about anything. You just change it out really quick. And not just that, but they're so comfortable and it's really easy to wear clothes on top of them. You don't really see them that much. So they really are discreet by that. And I would show you what it looks like, but I don't have any more. I used them until they were gone. I only had to buy one pack. So one regular pack of those was all I needed. When I ran out of those, I went ahead and used the rest of these I had left from the pad schools I made. And as you can see, I still have some left. There wasn't even that many. I think I had like 8 to 10 of them left maybe, and I still have some left over. So I didn't really need these. So when I went to the store, I went ahead and bought the next step down. It's much thinner, as you can see from this. The absorbency is a little bit of the same. It's still a pretty big pad, to be honest. Like, it still pans out that far, but it's a lot thinner, easier to wear. And honestly, I only used these like a couple of times, and now I have so many left. And then now I literally just have panty liners, like the panty liners you wear every day. So, and I don't even need them. I'm just wearing them just to wear them. But those are the kind I went down to. So those things I would definitely recommend. I wouldn't buy loads and loads and loads of different pads and different kinds of absorbencies. Just take one package at a time. Don't get the super jumbo Costco pack. Just get the normal size, like 20 pads or whatever. And if you need them, like, you'll know by the time you're getting there. Like, when you're down to like 5 pads left and you're still like bleeding like crazy, you know you need to go get more. And you'll know your absorbency at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So definitely you need pads on top of your diapers. Another thing, tucks, medicated cooling pads. So this is 100 pads. They gave me a little container. It was like about that size in the hospital, like this size right here. And I went through that in the first day. It had 25 of them. So they brought me another one. I went through that, and then I went through this entire, oh, there's one left. I'm all smelling it. Ooh, gives me postpartum vibes. But there's one more tux pad left in this. I didn't even know that was in there, or else I probably would have used it. So definitely invest in these. Depending on which hospital you're at, I would definitely go ahead and buy a pack. I think I bought these at Walmart for like $5. So I would go ahead and buy yourself a tub. By the time I was done with this, I didn't even need them. I don't even think I needed them to finish them off. I just did because I did like the cooling effect it gave. Next thing is DermaFlast. I use this like crazy. I'm trying to think. When I was in the hospital, they gave this to me in the hospital, and she basically showed me my whole routine of what I would be doing, and she went ahead and brought me this and told me to use this. I didn't necessarily think I needed it, but it does give that cooling effect and kind of helps make you feel a little bit better down there, so I would recommend getting it. I went ahead and bought one myself before I went into labor, but I haven't even used the can that they gave me. So this is a brand new can, and it's nice to have, but I didn't even use it. So I would ask your hospital if they provide it. If they do, you're probably not going to need to buy one. If they don't, buy one. If you're not sure, buy one. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Now, this is something a lot of women don't talk about, even in these YouTube videos. I have seen them before, but this was something that one of my friends told me to do, and I'm glad she did. But it is a stool softener. Depending on the type of labor you have, I was insanely lucky, as I've told you, but going to the bathroom for number 2 can hurt just as bad as your labor. It literally can. I was in the hospital. I asked them for stool softener. They gave me one. They were giving me them while I was there, and plus on my way home, or I think I was home and I had my husband run out and get me more. I was scared. I didn't have my first bowel movement. That's weird. I'll just say BM. I didn't have my first BM until about 5 days postpartum, and that was me holding it. Like, I think I had to go like 3 days postpartum, but I didn't want to. I was scared to, so I was trying to pound these and take them and get it going. But when I finally went, to be honest, it didn't hurt that bad. It felt like as if I was constipated for like 2 or 3 days and then you go. You know that, like, when it's like that? This is way too much information. But if you're watching this, I'm sure you're going through something relatively common to what I'm going through, or you're about to. I wouldn't say it was, geez, this is so terrible. I wouldn't say it was completely, you know, like laxative soft, but it was soft enough, I guess, to make it less painful. That was a pain in the ass to try to explain. Oh my god. Next thing is a PERI bottle. If your hospital doesn't give this to you, why are you even at that hospital? I'm pretty sure they will, but if they don't, or if you're not sure, buy one on Amazon. They're like $1 or $2, or if you can find them at a store. But this was helpful as well because you can't be wiping down in that area after you give birth, but you want it to be clean. So you kind of just fill this up with warm water, and then you kind of, you know, after you pee, squirt this down there. The only pain in the butt is that after you give birth, you still are kind of getting back to your bladder control. And so I didn't realize like I had to pee until I really had to pee, and by that time I couldn't hold it and I would be peeing, which is fine because I was wearing those diapers. But the problem with that is you don't really have the time to fill this up with warm water. So I would fill it up all the way, and at my hospital it took a while to get the water hot, so for the most part it was cold, which isn't bad. But then you come home and my house, it doesn't have insulation or anything, so my house is freezing, and then this water was freezing, so it was like, ugh. But it's necessary. It helped the cleaning process, helped the whole overall healing process. Before you go into labor, make sure your house is stocked up with some ibuprofen. You can either have regular ibuprofen prescribed to you, or you can go with ADVIL, which is ibuprofen. So I believe at the hospital they were giving me ibuprofen or Motrin. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Motrin. But anyway, ibuprofen, completely safe for breastfeeding. But I took it here and there, but it helped with like the discomfort of it a little bit. It's nice to have because not just are you dealing with pain from there, you're dealing with pain from your uterus area. As your uterus contracts back, like whether you're at home or whatever, if you strain yourself too much, walk around too much, or if you have your pants a little bit too tight, it's gonna give you really intense cramping. So definitely get yourself some ibuprofen. Next thing is my belly wrap. I only used this a few times, to be honest, but I feel like it did help bring me back kind of to normal. But this one was, I think, like $13 on Amazon. Very easy to use, and you can kind of pick and choose how tight you want it because it has these, so you can make it pretty much fit you whatever comfort level you're okay with. I would start not super tight, just enough to kind of like hug you, and then work your way down, because I put this on super tight a couple days after I got home, or no, a couple days after I gave birth. I think it was like the next day after I got home, or the day I got home. And honestly, the next day or later on that day, I don't remember, I felt like I was having intense contractions again. I was scared I was going to have to go back to the hospital and figure out what was going on because it was super painful. It was more painful than the labor, and it makes you bleed a lot more. But what it's doing is it's helping your uterus go back to normal. So bleeding a lot is normal and the pain is normal. But like I said, just take it easy. Get yourself one that you can kind of adjust the tightness so that you can ease your way into it, because I realized every time I used this I would feel more pain and I would bleed a lot more, but at the same time I was back in my jeans within a few days. I'm not joking with you. Less than a week after I gave birth, I was back into my pre-pregnancy jeans. They were tight, but I was back into them with a button. Okay, there we go. So this is me now. I'm wearing like yoga pants, but I am, as of right now, I'm 8 pounds away from my pre-pregnancy weight, and I haven't done any workouts or anything. I just used that pad a few times, or I just used that wrap a few times, and have sat on my ass since then taking care of my kids. So who knows? It could work, it could not. Next thing is postpartum underwear. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I loved these. They were comfortable and they're just easy to use. Once you're out of your diapers and you're into like normal pads, I wore these like crazy. I didn't want to ruin any of my nice underwear or anything, and these are just comfortable, you know? And so I'm glad I bought these. They were like $25 for 5 of them. Take it as you want if you think that's expensive or not. If you have granny panties at home, like the laundry panties that you don't care if you mess up, just use those. You don't need to buy postpartum ones. But the thing with these is they have a really tight top. They have really good belly support. So I also think that helped with my uterus contracting back to normal. And I will keep using these because during the summer it's so hot here that I'll just wear a big shirt and I wear like booty shorts or granny panties to bed. So I will definitely just use these for that. So multiple uses. The last thing that also kind of goes hand in hand with postpartum and breastfeeding are these therapy pads. Whether you're breastfeeding or not, your boobs are going to get engorged and it's going to be painful, and these are a lot of help. You can either freeze them and put them on if that's the kind of comfort you want, or if you feel like that's the kind of relief you're going to need, or you can warm these up and it just feels so good. I never use them frozen. I use them warmed up. Right before I breastfed or I pumped, I would warm this up and I would put them on, and it basically just helped with my milk flow. I felt like my milk actually just naturally came out a lot smoother. I mean, what little milk I had, but came out a lot smoother, and also helped with the discomfort of the engorgement. Really helped out a lot. And these ones I bought off of Amazon. They were like 12 to 14 bucks. They also come with covers so that you don't have to put this directly on your breasts. But these helped out a lot and I highly recommend them. Things that I regretted buying that I really never used, they're pretty much just 3 things. And this is one of them. It is the Earth Mama Organic Perineal Balm. This had such good reviews and it smells so good. It smells so minty. And I used it a couple times. You can see I used it. Here's the problem. I don't know if you can see it in the picture. Excuse my nails. But if you can see those little dots, this thing's like gritty. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. And when you rub it in your hands, it kind of melts down and you can get some of it melted down, but you don't get it all melted down. And you're supposed to rub this on your tear and your butt and your whole vagine area. Ouch. No. Okay, so I almost bought the spray, the perineal spray, but all the reviews were saying this is way better than the spray. So I went for this and I really regret it. I really wish I would have bought the spray, and I'm telling you right now, buy the spray. Because first of all, that's an open wound. And like there's so much going on. I'm a babyer. I baby that area the whole time. I didn't want to go near it. I didn't want to touch it with my bare fingers. I was scared to touch it. I was scared to like put anything near it that, you know, I didn't want to get an infection. So, I mean, I used this, but I waited till like a week later, if that, and I still was kind of weird putting it on, and I didn't really notice a difference. I did feel a little bit of tingling, so I'm guessing that's like what's supposed to help with like the soothing properties, but for the most part, like I didn't notice a difference in healing. Didn't make me feel any better. I would just stick to the spray. I just feel like the spray is just much easier. You don't gotta get in there and like touch everything. And the grit in this, like I don't want to rub gritty stuff on my open vagine wound. Like, no, you know? Call me dramatic, but I just didn't see this working for me whatsoever. Next thing I did not use whatsoever was the Earth Mama Sitz Bath. So I went ahead and bought this, and I actually bought the actual toilet sit bath. I left that over there. I should have just grabbed it, but I bought a 2-pack of these because I really thought, you know what, I'm going to give myself a sitz bath like a couple days a week, and it's going to be relaxing. Didn't use either of them. There was 2 packs of these, and they come with 6 in each. Didn't use them. I just didn't have the time like to actually sit there and use this. Like if your husband is taking off your whole freaking 6 weeks after the baby's born, or your whole healing process, then you might have time to use this, but at the same time you're too tired. Like you don't want to get up and have to put hot water in a toilet bucket and then stew this and steep it and then sit on it and just sit there for like 10 minutes. You don't want to do that. Like, you want something quick, easy, painless, whatever gets you in and out faster, because you have a newborn who's crying every 2 hours. By the time you get this going, it'll be 2 hours, you know? So stick with the perineal spray. I personally, from the nipple butter, I like Earth Mama. I like their ingredients. I like their whole company. But just for the convenience and overall sanitation with like the balm, I just wouldn't recommend the SITZ bath. I mean, I didn't use it. If I use it, maybe. Last but certainly not least, padsicles. I made a whole video on how to make them. Never used them. I used one. And I'll tell you why. It wasn't because it didn't work. It wasn't because it was too much of a pain in the ass. Actually, it wasn't because it was a pain in the ass. But it wasn't because it didn't work. It wasn't because I didn't like it. Actually, it was because I didn't like it. It wasn't because it didn't work, okay? Like, it was just a pain in the ass to get. First you get it out of the freezer, and then all of that stuff that you put in there, like, became ice. And so you gotta pry this pad open. You gotta, like, pull up the stickers, which tear and get stuck in the pad that you just created. And then you put it in your diaper, and you put it on, and at first it is so cold it feels like you're giving your vagine frostbite. But then once it starts getting a little, like, melting down a tiny bit, it starts feeling good, and it's cooling, and it's nice. Doesn't last very long though. It's kind of, I would prefer those pads that they gave you at the hospital where you just crack and throw them in. I feel like it would have done the same exact thing. Maybe the stuff inside of it helps you with healing better, but honestly, I healed pretty quickly, and I only used one padsicle. Didn't even use the SITZ bath or the perineal balm. Pretty much Tux is what helped me heal. Tux and DermaPlast. So I feel like padsicles are really extra. I will probably, not even probably, 120% not make those again when I'm pregnant next time. So I know it's shocking. I know some women swear by them, but for me and my healing process and my lifestyle, just didn't work for me. So yeah. So that was it on my postpartum care video. What I used, what I didn't, what I liked, what I hated. I hope you got some knowledge from this. I'm being brutally honest. I truthfully feel, not all, but I feel like some YouTubers kind of go with the trend and the hype, and like, this mama says this, so like it must be great, and they hype it up without truly actually like experiencing the product. That would be like me using the SITZ bath once out of the 12 pads I have, just using one and being like, this was so fantastic. I truly feel like a lot of YouTube videos do that. Not that YouTubers are fake, it's just I feel like they truly want to believe it's great because everybody says it's great, but they don't really experience the product to its full capability and figure out if it's good for them or not. I feel bad. I know a lot of people love these products, but I'm not going to be fake to my subscribers. And you know, if you kind of have a body pregnancy like me, or you had an experience like me, then you know what to get and what to not get. So I rambled like crazy through this video. Sorry if I was annoying. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.